Today, we are diving deep into one of the most intense psychological showdowns in all of literature. I'm talking about the struggle for Guy Montag's soul in Fahrenheit 451. And look, forget the book burning for just a second, because the real fire is the one that's absolutely raging inside Montag's head. This is basically a high-stakes thriller, fought between two incredibly powerful men for the conscience of one. So let's break this battle down round by round.
So here's our game plan. We're going to follow the conflict through 5 acts. We'll start with Montag's initial crisis, then meet the two figures pulling him in opposite directions. After that, we'll get into the competing ideas they represent, the all-out psychological war. And finally, that shocking conclusion, where all the talk stops and the action begins.
All right, so our story kicks off not with some big explosion, but with this quiet, desperate struggle. Montag has the books, right? But he can't seem to grasp what they're saying. He's literally drowning in all these forbidden words, and his mind, which has been conditioned by society for years, is completely failing him.
And the heart of Montag's crisis comes from this really powerful childhood memory. He remembers trying to fill a sieve with sand. You know, it's an impossible, totally frustrating task. Well, today, the knowledge from the books, that's the sand. And his distracted, conditioned mind, that's the sieve. No matter how hard he shoves the words in, those profound truths just slip right through.
You see, society has basically engineered the perfect weapon against actual thought, just constant, meaningless noise. As Montag is trying to read on the subway, this relentless Denham's dentifrice jingle just drills into his brain, pushing out any chance for him to think or reflect. It's a battle he knows he can't win by himself. So, feeling desperate, Montag seeks help. And this leads him to the two opposing father figures who are about to wage war over his entire future. One wants to crack his mind wide open, the other wants to slam it shut for good. And the whole conflict really boils down to these two men. On one side, you've got Faber, the intellectual guide. He's arguing that what society needs is substance, meaning, and freedom. And on the other side, you have Captain Beatty, the guardian of the status quo, who just dismisses books as pure, dangerous chaos. These are two mentors with two completely opposite missions from Montag. Faber's whole philosophy just cuts right to the heart of the problem. He's not interested in the shallow, surface-level chatter that dominates their world. No, he craves depth, he craves meaning, and he craves that simple, profound feeling of being truly alive. He's basically putting into words the exact emptiness that's been haunting Montag for so long. So now, with Faber as his guide, Montag is finally armed with an actual ideology. He has a diagnosis for what's wrong with the world and, even more importantly, he has a prescription for how to start fixing it.
Faber boils society's sickness down to 3 missing ingredients. First up, quality of information. He says books aren't magic, but what they do is show life's uncomfortable truths, the pores on the face of life, not some smooth, photoshopped version. Second, leisure to digest. And this isn't about taking a vacation, it's about having the mental space to actually think without being bombarded by jingles. And finally, the right to act, the freedom to change your life based on what you've learned. Without all 3 of those, Faber argues, a society is just a hollow shell.
But here's the crucial point. People chose this emptiness. They traded the difficult, rewarding work of real connection and understanding for the easy, passive entertainment of the parlor walls. They actually preferred comfortable lies over hard truths, and that choice is what Montag is now fighting against. So, just as Montag is starting to feel firm in his new beliefs, he walks back into the firehouse and straight into an ambush. Captain Beatty launches his counteroffensive, and it is a brilliant and brutal psychological assault. And here is the devastating irony of it all. Beatty isn't ignorant. Not at all. He's incredibly well-read, which is what makes him so dangerous. This is a man who probably once believed in books, but that belief curdled into this deep, cynical contempt. He knows their power, and he masterfully turns literature's own weapons against it. His first shot is to paint books as these unreliable traitors. He tells Montag that for every philosopher who says one thing, there's another one who says the exact opposite. He frames them not as sources of wisdom, but as agents of total confusion and chaos, designed to make a rookie like Montag feel lost and foolish. Next, he makes the attack personal, twisting a famous quote to mock Montag's newfound intellectual curiosity. He paints Montag as this arrogant fool who thinks a few lines of poetry suddenly make him a genius. It's a classic tactic, right? Belittle the student to discredit the entire lesson.
But Beatty saves his most venomous attack for last. He tells Montag about a dream where he and Montag duel with literary quotes, and his ultimate point is designed to just shatter Montag's spirit. There is no stable, objective truth. It's all just a performance, a power game, and Beatty declares himself the better player.
So you can imagine Montag is just reeling. He's confused. He's got Faber whispering encouragement in one ear and Beatty shouting him down in the other. The pressure is immense. In this dizzying war of words, whose argument is going to break through? Whose voice is he going to follow?
But before Montag can even answer that question, before he can choose a side, the abstract argument is just shattered by the concrete scream of reality.
The fire alarm shrieks, and just like that, the time for debate, for philosophy, for psychological warfare is instantly over. Beatty's lecture is cut short. They have a job to do. The theoretical has just become terrifyingly practical.
As the salamander speeds through the night, Montag feels this growing dread. And then, the truck stops. The target isn't some stranger's house. It's his own. The battle for his mind has just led directly to the destruction of his entire life.
The choice was just taken right out of his hands. He no longer has to decide between Faber and Beatty. The system has decided for him. But as he steps out of that truck to face the flames, the question is, has he genuinely become a new man, or has he simply been pushed into the role of a fugitive? The battle for his mind might be over, but the fight for his life, that has just begun.